Welcome once again to KDRTV News. We are going to discuss a little bit more on the tobacco health issues, and today we are delighted to bring you some of the historical facts on the harmful effects, or let me not really go a little bit deeper on the harmful effects of on your body, but today let's now highlight a few of the legislations which really made it a little bit difficult for tobacco industry or tobacco selling, especially to minors or to young people who are under 18 or under 21 years, to be in effect in especially from the U.S., which from U.S. and Britain, which these are the huge tobacco industry markets or manufacturers, and what really managed to a little bit reduce the impact on the population, especially on the effects of second-hand smoke, because most people thought that second-hand smoke is not really harmful to people, and when some of these legislation started to take effect, especially in the 60s, people thought that, okay, if you are one room and then some people can be on one side of the room and the other ones on the other side of the room, things are not really I mean, it's not really problematic. But later on, the Cancer Society made it very clear, using some of the data they had collected from even the patients who really used to smoke tobacco, and the data really helped in lots of legislation. So let me do a small rundown on what really happened. I'm not really old enough to really give some wonderful statistic, but because of my research and reading, I've come to realize that in the 40s, in the late 30s, or let me say mid 30s or to late 40s there, to early 40s there, it was thought that when people smoke, and especially the soldiers smoke, it really gives them a morale for them to fight. It really makes them really feel that, okay, you are ready to do this. Let's do this. So it was really a problem for so many people, and many soldiers, by the way, lost their lives because of smoking, because they were really encouraged. The government really encouraged. The paratroopers were really encouraged to smoke, so that it really gives them a good morale for them to fight. So later on, it was now discovered that actually the smoke, the tobacco, is really very harmful to your lungs, to your health, and then how do I call it? The lung. The people. The medical doctors who were specialized in lung and heart diseases came to realize that when they are taking X-rays, they realized that people who smoke, their lungs are really affected. Their heart is really a huge problem. So they decided now to form a society, or the lung society, and then later on it really started fighting the big boys, the tobacco industry, especially the Marlboro. So in 1965, before even 1965, tobacco industries used just to do advertising that if you really take cigarette, you become strong. You're really somebody out there. You're a macho man, and all these things really didn't really affect the society. That particular time, they didn't really know that it's really going to affect the society. But later on, it was realized that this use of tobacco really is an impediment to people's health. So the Federal Cigarette Act, Advertising Act of 1965, required cigarette packs to display a warning that smoking is dangerous to health. In a couple of weeks or in a couple of days, I'll try my level best to bring one of the experts to a little bit expound more on this, because I'm not really an expert in this particular area, but I'll bring an expert to really expound a little bit more on how this played out. So The Federal Cigarette Labeling and Advertising Act of 1965 required cigarette packs to display a warning that smoking is dangerous. So just a warning was not really enough to deter people from smoking. So it's just basically a warning, even if some of these people are really taken to court. I remember one of the seminars I attended in the 1950s, somebody went to court and then said, okay, tobacco has really made me to become sick. I used to be okay, but after starting to take this tobacco product, I'm really having a problem. But he didn't win. He didn't win, and then later on in 1965, some of these requirements that every pack has that one, but the requirement only, just basically just a warning. And then when these people went to court, they just said, okay, you see, there is a warning on our pack. So if you took it, there are health ramifications. So it's a risk you are taking yourself. But now the Lung Society decided to say no. This is a public health issue. So in 1969, it was declared that smoking is harmful to the public. So a couple of years later, again in the 80s up to the 2000s, in the year 2009, that is when we had a national minimum of 18 years to purchase tobacco. And some of the tobacco litigation is Rose Sipalon, a smoker who sued the tobacco industry. Then there's another person called Mark Galbraith, who died at 69 years from smoking, and his family sued R.J. Reynolds. And then there's Nathan Houghton, who sued American Tobacco for damages for pesticide and fertilizer used in tobacco farming. So some of these litigations really help to impact or reduce the use of tobacco, especially in several states. And in the state of Minnesota, there is a litigation which made the tobacco industry really to settle for around $6 billion US. That's a lot of money, and this money is now basically used to in the fight against tobacco. Nowadays you can't smoke where kids are. That is a requirement. You can't smoke in the when in the airplanes. You can't smoke in the airports. All these things were really a litigation, and the tobacco industry was really fighting back. But the Lung Society tried their level best to put their foot forward to ensure that people live a healthy life. People don't really get the second-hand smoke, and then things really change for the better, and especially even the youths. Children with peer pressure. Nowadays, you can really see what's really happening even in our public schools. That the statistics show that even kids who are under 13 years old, some of them, a good number, says that over 45% of those students who are in schools have already have used some of the tobacco products. And especially those kids who are in high school or in senior years, most of them have really been lured by their colleagues or their friends that they can vape. The vape nowadays, I hear that we have a vape for even mango, a vape for several fruits. So basically they are luring young people because of market issues, because of selling. This is commercial. They are just luring young people to take this particular product. But in effect, these products have got tobacco, which is really nicotine, a high content level nicotine, which is really making it so difficult for these youngsters to have a healthy life thereafter. So keep away from this particular product. They are not really very good. Tell your youth, your people, your children, your community that taking tobacco product really hampers their good living, because most of these products have really been discovered. The experts, the doctors, the experts have really expounded a little bit more on the negative effects of tobacco in society. So please be one of our guides, be one of our advocates to ensure that our community lives a healthy life without using tobacco products, because using tobacco products really hampers your life. It's so difficult for even to breathe. Some of them are associated with asthma and all that. So for today, let me leave there, but I promise I'll be bringing an expert to expound a little bit more on the fight against tobacco products. And you know very well, some of these tobacco products were being, were used, by slave owners. The slave owners used to, to deal with especially the black communities, not really the community, but the black race, terribly when they were being forced from Africa to come and work in these farms. Most of them even died by we call it by this, not really roasting, but by drying these tobaccos, by going to the farm, farming these particular tobaccos. So unfortunately they were not compensated, and then later on they were encouraged to smoke and all that. So these are some of the things we are really talking about. So please be an advocate against tobacco. And even in your community where you are living, the very best option for you to do is attend some of these, we call them town halls, and they help in legislation so that tobacco is really kept away, especially from children. I've heard, when I attended one of the seminars, when I watched some of the news, I figured out that, okay, some communities have really made it so difficult, even the convenience stores, I'm talking of the gas stations, to even sell tobaccos there. So they have been forced by law to ensure that anybody who comes to the store nowadays, even under 21 years, is not allowed to smoke. So be part of the game, be part of the team to ensure that we keep away harmful products from our population. Thank you, and may God bless you. Till next Sunday, bye.